Yeah.
and track practice, all the alpha stuff.
This one you can join. It's called Phi Alpha. That's our honor society for just social work. I think they want you to have like a 3.5, so I don't know if you're
I
like,
have a 3.7.
there you go.
What are
So
like the benefits of that
I
besides like resume?
they have a whole bunch of scholarships they always send out. So let me see here.
How do I apply for that?
So that's what I'm trying to hand off to Gifty because like I've done it for 2 or 3 years and I am officially maxed out all over the place.
What's up?
So in the past, you would do this Excel sheet, and I would literally just write your name. It was like old fashioned induction date, school name, city, email it off. Now there's this online portal, and my bandwidth is at a maximum capacity. So I've asked her. So I finally applied for full professor this year. That's when you like reach the end of your academic journey, so to speak, and to get tenure, she would need a couple of these. And I was like, well, you could do this one if you want, because, oh, there it is. Yeah. So I did one and added somebody for this year, but she's like, that's cool. She's like, it's in Greek track. So they call it. And I don't know what this Greek track stuff is. And I'm just literally at my full capacity. So with that, I'm kind of almost there. Do we have any D2L stuff? Maybe that's the next. Oh yeah, okay. I'll go to yours. See if we've. Hello, how you doing? So activities, assignments, and mm, it's kind of weird. Okay, there we go. Shoot, that's the other thing I can't remember. Mackenzie led her group, right?
I don't know who that is.
Mackenzie Green. Let me see here. It
Is that
was
did she do the one with the glasses that sits right there?
it was this one. So it was like love is a feeling. I come first in a relationship.
Yeah,
Physical violence is normal. Okay.
I, she did.
Okay.
I just didn't know her name.
Right. I know. I'm trying to remember. I feel like somebody else was doing theirs remote. Obviously, there's three. Because you turned yours in too, right?
I believe so. Yeah. I
Ah.
was screenshot my notes.
So Samia, Cassidy, and Princess did hers though, I thought, right?
I don't think I was here for her. So
I know. Precious. Okay. Let me see. Maybe we got one. God, why is this one acting goofy now, too? Yeah, it's almost like my computer needs a freaking update or something. I want to see if there's updates. Oh, that's it. Well, I was like, why is it acting goofy, man? All right.
I think mine does too. I'll be right back.
All right. Hello. Ah, that's a PDF. That's weird because it's not going to open. So this was our grant from with Dr. Hunt doing horticulture therapy. There we go. So I know I told you guys about this, but we got $599,000 to create a horticulture therapy group at this school. Sounds like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. So different things they had to submit was like institution's mission, what is a land grant institution, social work program embraces that mission statement. We mentioned students coming from diverse backgrounds are given opportunities for developing leadership and research skills. Let me see if I play it. I'm guessing that there's a better one that Dr. Harris made it in color. So the reason Dr. Hunt wanted to add this horticulture therapy group is that she noticed there was a 14% increase in age-adjusted death rate for suicide. For non-Hispanic Black Ohioans, there was an 87% increase during the same time, 2010 to 2020, with the suicide went up that much. Black non-Hispanic males now have the highest drug overdose death rate in Ohio compared with other sex and race ethnicity groups. So that when you're writing your paper, you try to pull stats that cover that. This one's stress and anxiety are the most prevalent issues currently reported among college students. Meanwhile, 16% of the Black population experience a mental health episode. So that was, you want to use citations in the past 3 to 5 years. So this one was 2023. It was on racial and ethnic disparities in mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's from the Journal of Racial and Ethnic Health Disparities. So like citing journals like that, excuse me, when you write your paper. So this was our logic here with Dr. Sonia Hunt. Because of the effects of the coronavirus pandemic, the challenges many students and families faced both psychologically and financially, Central State University offered their first trauma-informed care training in the fall of 21. Were you in high school then?
Yeah, I was in 11th grade.
Atlanta?
Nah, I go to school in Middle Georgia.
Okay.
In the country.
Black Mountain, where they have the Appalachian Trail?
Nah, it's more north.
Is it really?
Closer to Atlanta. Like, where I'm from, it's just farmland and stuff. Like,
I did the whole Appalachian Trail from like wherever it starts there to like I think it snowed on us though, so we still have 10 miles left to go there. I forget where it is.
I've never been. It sounds nice though.
It is. If you go in March, a lot of people are starting their first few days on the Appalachian Trail to hike 6 months straight through north. And they start like throwing a bunch of gear away and like dropping it on the trail because their backpack's way too much. So you can get a lot of good stuff going there. Yeah, they just leave it because it's heavy as hell. So they like start throwing out good shit. I know. That's when we went. All right. So we offered in fall of 21, when most students returned to in-person classes, we still had online though, while still having the choice to attend online. Yeah. Therefore, there is a large push to have both in-person and faculty trained in some of the trauma-informed guidelines. I use an old citation there because they created trauma-informed care. Students need challenging work to facilitate their learning and must see their education as a way to foster civility, good citizenship, responsible behavior, and self-reliance. So the self-reliance part is like, when you graduate, we want you to get a job. Like we want to set you guys up so you're license ready and you can work in the field and get a master's too. So the trauma-informed care model attempts to meet each student at wherever he or she is in life. Let me see here. All right, shoot, next one. So Central State observed a 60% increase in the number of students seeking intervention for depression and anxiety. So Dr. Hunt, so all kinds of people come in, especially the pandemic. I don't know if it was because, I don't know. Did you notice any mental health stuff come up because of the pandemic, or people were going home, so there's more?
I didn't notice any personally, but actually, yeah, in my dad, yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
So, in my experience, no. I'm assuming it's because of isolation.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, the isolation and the uncertainty of like maybe not knowing if you're going to keep your job. Or
That was a big one. You're right.
the world's going to end.
Yep. We thought the world was going to end. We started packing up all kinds of food and like water. I bought chickens. I got honeybees. And then it never ended. So that's what we observed. For us, it was because they were all online. They had to do stuff from home. Say there were challenges going on in the home and you're brought back into that stress and like environment. And without the degree you came here to get, because they shut down spring break of 2020. It was about right now. They said, go home to spring break and don't come back. So that was the weirdest thing we ever had. That alone caused mental health issues. So the last thing we had, training our social workers for the future. So we had 3 here. We want to educate the public, employers, school systems, government health plans, and others about the stigma around behavioral health disorders that creates barriers to workforce development. Relevant licensing boards, behavioral health organizations, state government agencies, and Ohio General Assemblies. Also educate the systems that overlap with behavioral health, especially other healthcare providers such as primary care. So to have your doctor look for mental health things so you could be referred to a social worker. On a basic behavioral health and cultural competency to build awareness of how other sectors can improve and bridge access to behavioral health services. And then, like mental health first aid, Dr. Jackson talks about that a lot. The last one is evaluate the local and statewide behavioral health continuum of care for workforce implications. Identify the role of each type of care delivery organization and the continuum of care. And identify where the system has been impacted by workforce shortages. And use evaluation findings to create an overarching state public local plan to identify systemic issues. So we're also trying to arrange and finance formal mentorship programs that pair BIPOC professionals working in behavioral health with BIPOC students. Like your placements Dr. Jackson has, do you know where do you want yours to be next year? Like, is there a population you want to work with?
I don't know, honestly.
She'll probably train you guys like at the end of this month. She does like her intro to field. If you're going to take it in the fall, if you took it in the spring, she might do it in December. So, but she has a lot of good placements. So like people that understand, have needed workers in both Xenia and Dayton. So like local and far away. Here's a question as you might know, if you have a car and if you don't, that determines your placement too. So some people, the options without a car, like you could take the Green Cat into Xenia. There's a few in the city and then Dr. Hunt. So something to consider. And then mandate cultural competency training for faculty, staff, and administrators. So that's some of the things we've been doing here. And then establish community college behavioral health partnerships to credential behavioral health professionals and 2-year degree programs. That's where you get the CDCA. It's called the Chemical Dependency Counselor Assistantship. That's a 2-year licensure. Develop curriculum to introduce behavioral health to younger students and provide trainings and certifications such as mental health first aid. And then hold health career education programs like fairs and camps, etc. We try to do that too. I think we have one coming up. Like, have you seen a mental career fair here? Do they do it? They do it fall and spring, right? So they might have one coming up soon for the spring.
I think it's already passed.
Oh, damn. Okay. And then establish certificates and entry-level education opportunities. And then when developing career awareness messaging, reinforce that the value of behavioral health field is reputable and a valuable health profession that serves people with mental health or substance use. Sometimes you hear stuff like, oh, social work, you're going to be broke the rest of your life and stuff like that, where they just give us crap. So then connecting the food insecurity and mental health. So CSU on-campus food pantry is managed through the social work program. The internship or employment opportunity itself will be open to majors from other areas. We have faculty on the proposal from social work, psychology, and exercise science. Students from many of these majors would be eligible to participate. The food pantry will serve multidisciplinary opportunity that could benefit from our 1890 land grant support and the USDA program on campus to provide central state grown produce to our students and reduce the food desert aspects of the campus and to enhance our students' daily dietary consumption. So we still don't have a greenhouse next to Dr. Hunt because Central has to put forth some of their own money to do it. And right now they're saying, I'm broke, we can't do it. That's what they're saying. Now, the tricky part is it's there, and we have $450,000 of unspent funds from this grant. So a large amount could go to that. The one challenge is with the grant, they don't let you build new permanent buildings. So Central would have to fund the construction of this new permanent building. They'll buy us the greenhouse kit, but they won't fund a permanent building. So here's the grant we applied for. It was the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. So in your final paper, you can put places that you would apply to grants or funding to be able to fund your mental health intervention or mental health group. Dr. Hunt got about, it was a raise. So it was to get them like 15 or 20,000 of a raise for the counselors, and then 5 third-party counselors trained in therapeutic horticulture will oversee the application of those techniques for CSU students. And then 12,000 for a case manager 3 years in a row. So that was like 37,000. Case manager will be contracted by the project to help students understand their options concerning the specific situation with which they are dealing. They will act as liaisons between patients and counselors and track the therapy and progress of individual cases. So that's something that we actually ended up paying Dr. Hunt's counselors to do both case management and therapy. And then this is the equipment, like the greenhouse package was 25,000. I mentioned funds are requested to purchase a prefabricated greenhouse kit, including panels with cold steel frame, fans, and a heating system to provide a temporary space for the horticulture activities. With the project, the package will include outfitting grow tables, benches, carts, and then the research aspect, which we have already done, is they do have a greenhouse, and that's where we're doing it from. It will compare the pre and post mental health of students who participate in therapeutic horticulture. So the group run over there specific plant characteristics which might be more therapeutic, and any differences in individual versus group intervention. This will assist the university in determining which programs to focus on to effectively reach the largest audience. So last bit before the references. So the teaching aspect will be the development of a therapeutic horticulture certificate program. It will consist of developing 3 therapeutic horticulture courses, thus providing Central State with a unique certificate program to draw in students and provide current students with additional credentials upon graduation. CSU, hi. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I was doing a presentation of our horticulture therapy group that Dr. Hunt and a few of us got a grant for to run on this campus. It was $500,000. So, and kind of showing you guys how to reference your paper. So for your final paper, and having half of it done in 2 weeks, but like how to get these citations and let me see if I can close it. There we go. I gotta zoom in on this because it's so small. But these are some of the Google Scholar citations I had used. And are either one of you going to to use your group for your final paper, like the one that you ran? Are you going to use that, and then can I help you write it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much was another group?
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So we had the first half of the paper for April 15th. So here's what it would look like. And this is right out of your syllabus. So, oh yeah, I mentioned using scholar.google.com. So that's one of the things you guys could go into. I always use this because you could search anything you want, like drug addiction, recovery capital, brief assessment, recovery, negative, whatever your research is on, you type in and get articles there. If you want to cite them, there it shows you how to do APA. So that's why I love those. And it'll give you full text of the article. So you could click on that and have full text, which is helpful, and then like download it. So this would be your conceptualization is part one. It's just kind of showing you how to write an APA. So like having your title, the abstract is 1 paragraph. Overall scope is 1 to 3 paragraphs. And that's like those articles that you get out of Scholar, Google Scholar. Like, why is a mental health group needed? Why do we do our own mental health counseling building at Central State? How does it help? Or is it needed? Who are the people that are affected? Then you do psychosocial concerns and themes. That's 3 paragraphs, or as many as 8 if you want to do it. And discuss psychosocial concerns and themes with the problem. If it's like depression and anxiety amongst women 18 to 24 in a historically Black college, you could search those up. And then what intervention do you want to do? Then next 2 paragraphs are significant psychosocial themes or concerns. So explain why you're doing that. Then past group treatment, like if you find articles on past group interventions they've used, and then describe why you're going to use it for your group. So it's getting in when you want to get a good group run. And I mentioned to you guys that you could actually use this at your internship and be paid for it. You could go into grants.gov. That's one funding space that you could use. And if, say, you're searching for HBCU MH groups, and it might not like that I didn't type it all out, but here are some of the grants. I probably need to type it all in. Say when it asks funding, you could type in mental health, and you could do National Institute of Mental Health mentoring networks for mental health research education. Some people have the Children's Mental Health Initiative. You can apply for $3 million there. You can apply here for $445,000. When we applied with the horticulture therapy group with Dr. Hunt, we asked for $600,000 and they gave it to us. So we have to spend it over 4 years, and we've spent $150,000. Actually, CSU gets half. We spend whatever we spend. CSU gets is like incidental funds or whatever. So we spend probably $300,000, and then Central gets $300,000 to pay for the lights and pay for the admins and to pay for paper and plants and I don't know, whatever it may be. So you could do one that has AIDS research. Here's treatments for youth and adults with mental illness. That's $1,500,000. So that's kind of, this shows grants you can apply for across the board. So if you did your internship, and this one's due May 18th. So if, say, you are writing your paper and you want to try to apply for $250,000 to run a group at Central, You apply here, the National Institute of Health, the funding, and they tell you how to do it, like related documents they might have. And this is where learning how to navigate these systems is huge because downloads. And it is just a, it's not a PDF. Oh, well. But there's several funding opportunities. That's how a lot of these different groups get run, how agencies get funded, and so second half of the paper is like you do a paragraph on the benefits of group work. Maybe it's in the research somewhere it says a group will be helpful because there's group accountability. There's other people who have experienced this and they all work together. Then your overall purpose of the group, and then running the group. What are your group goals? So goals you intend to achieve by running a group. Clients targeted, how you make a relationship with them. So really, if you just go through this paragraph by paragraph, you will have your entire final paper. And I know it's a lot. That's why I made the first half due. And I guess it's a week and 6 days because it's due on the 15th. And it may just be your outline. And then you say the agency, if you're doing it here on campus, you could say it's Dr. Hunt's counseling place. If you're doing it inner city Xenia, you could say I'm running out of the detention center for youths detained at the detention center. How will you recruit them? If it's here on campus, you could describe like, we'll send emails from the mental health counseling place. We'll also staple on, do they still do that where they staple up like paper to announce things anywhere? I don't even know. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. So it could be something like that, like at the dorm, at the CAF, an email sent out by Dr. Hunt. We're going to run this group. Who wants to do it? And this is what you guys do in the real world. So when you become a social worker and you want to promote your agency, you've got to have clients. Without clients, we don't get paid. So yes, we're not only in it for the money, but at the same time, we're trained to serve people and you get paid for your work. So if you do this good enough, you could use it at your internship next year if you have a particular internship that runs groups. You do duration of the group next. It's just one paragraph. Most groups are 10 or 12 weeks. I always say this because that way they can run 4 groups per year. Every quarter they do spring, summer, fall, winter groups. So when would end, that's why it's only a paragraph. And then the activities planned for the group. Again, if you're using Girls Circle, you can take their activities and cite Girls Circle. Just cite everything properly. If you find a good group online, cite that place, the One Circle Foundation or whatever it is. Actually, I want to see if Google Scholar has One Circle Foundation stuff. That's the Girls Circle. So or just straight up Girls Circle, GIRSCIRCLE. There you go. That's the first one. And they have full text articles, which is cool. I like Google Scholar because you can custom range it to the past 3 or 5 years, which is usually when they want you. Now, if you did it anytime, you might see more stuff on, developing friendships and peer relationships with Girls Circle. And if you cited this, there it is, APA. So that's another example. And then plans for terminating the group. So I'm sure within Girls Circle, they show you and tell you how to terminate. And if you use that, just cite it. Anything you use, just cite it properly, and you'll never get busted for plagiarism. It's the same in grad school. Even like when you're practicing, like you always just have to cover your ass. How will you terminate it? How you evaluate it? At Lighthouse, what we usually did was they gave us like a link, and we could open that link and hand them our phone. And we'd let them know it was confidential. Be like, here's a survey. You can say what was good, what helped you, and what could be done better. And that's how you evaluate. It's just like 1 or 2 paragraphs. You might see that in some article too. And then that's it. Yeah, 8 pages is fine. 15 is also fine. Whatever you want. So that's it. That's the majority of what we got going on. Any questions?
No question.
This is where I give you guys time to work on it. I say, I'm letting you out early so you get to start crushing on your paper.
I'll probably start on this one. I start checking.
That's cool.
I was writing this paper for Dr. Gifty this past weekend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Let me see if anybody else logged in. Okay.